pull station is required at the back door of each apartment if that back door is part of the exit path from the dwelling unit. This requirement stems from the need to ensure that occupants have a readily available means of initiating a fire alarm signal when evacuating a building. The placement of pull stations is governed by building and fire safety codes, which aim to provide a reliable method for alerting all occupants to a potential fire emergency. Let's delve into the specifics of why this requirement exists and the relevant code considerations. The primary reason for requiring a pull station at an exit point is to allow individuals who discover a fire or other emergency to quickly activate the building's fire alarm system. This is especially crucial in multi-story residential buildings like apartments, where a fire on one floor can rapidly spread to others. A pull station provides a manual means of initiating an alarm, supplementing automatic detection systems like smoke detectors. The placement of pull stations is typically dictated by the applicable building codes, which vary by jurisdiction but generally follow the guidelines established by organizations such as the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA. The NFPA 101 Life Safety Code is a widely adopted standard that provides requirements for fire protection and life safety. In the context of apartment buildings, the Life Safety Code addresses the placement of fire alarm systems, including manual pull stations. According to NFPA 101, manual fire alarm boxes, or pull stations, are required to be located in the path of egress. This means that they should be positioned along the routes that occupants would typically use to exit the building during an emergency. Specifically, the Life Safety Code states that a manual fire alarm box shall be located at each exit on each floor. This requirement is designed to ensure that occupants have access to a pull station as they are leaving the building. In the situation described, where each apartment has a back door that exits directly to an outside stairway, the back door is considered part of the exit path from the dwelling unit. Therefore, a pull station is required at each of these back doors. There are several factors to consider when determining the specific placement of the pull station at the back door. Firstly, the pull station should be readily accessible and visible. It should not be obstructed by furniture, equipment, or other objects that could impede access during an emergency. The pull station should be mounted at a height that is easily reachable by most individuals, typically between 42 inches and 48 inches above the finished floor. Secondly, the pull station should be located in close proximity to the exit door. This ensures that occupants can activate the alarm as they are leaving the building. The Life Safety Code specifies that the pull station should be located within 5 feet of the exit door. Thirdly, the pull station should be clearly identified with signage. The sign should indicate that the device is a manual fire alarm box and provide instructions on how to activate it. The sign should be legible and easily visible, even in low light conditions. In addition to the Life Safety Code, local building codes and fire safety regulations may impose additional requirements for the placement of pull stations. It is essential to consult with the local authority having jurisdiction, or OJ, to ensure compliance with all applicable codes. The AHA is the agency or individual responsible for enforcing building and fire safety regulations in a particular area. They can provide guidance on specific code requirements and conduct inspections to verify compliance. Furthermore, it is important to consider the type of fire alarm system installed in the apartment building. There are two main types of fire alarm systems: addressable and conventional. In an addressable system, each pull station is assigned a unique address. When a pull station is activated, the control panel identifies the specific location of the alarm. This allows firefighters to quickly locate the source of the emergency. In a conventional system, the fire alarm system is divided into zones. When a pull station is activated, the control panel indicates the zone in which the alarm originated. However, it does not identify the specific location of the pull station. The type of fire alarm system installed in the building can affect the placement of pull stations. In an addressable system, pull stations can be placed more strategically to maximize coverage. In a conventional system, pull stations may need to be placed more frequently to ensure adequate coverage. It is also crucial to ensure that the pull stations are properly maintained and tested. Pull stations should be inspected regularly to verify that they are in good working order. The inspection should include checking for any damage or obstructions and verifying that the pull station activates the alarm system. Pull stations should also be tested periodically to ensure that they are functioning correctly. The testing should involve activating the pull station and verifying that the alarm signal is received at the control panel. The frequency of inspections and testing is typically specified in the applicable building codes and fire safety regulations. In addition to the code requirements, it is important to consider the human factors involved in using pull stations. Pull stations should be designed to be easy to use, even for individuals who are unfamiliar with the system. The activation mechanism should be simple and intuitive. The pull station should also be clearly labeled with instructions on how to activate it. It is also important to provide training to occupants on how to use pull stations. Occupants should be informed about the location of pull stations and how to activate them. They should also be educated about the importance of using pull stations to report fires and other emergencies. In conclusion, a pull station is required at the back door of each apartment if that back door is part of the exit path from the dwelling unit. This requirement is based on the need to provide occupants with a readily available means of initiating a fire alarm signal when evacuating the building. The placement of pull stations is governed by building and fire safety codes, which aim to ensure that occupants have access to a pull station as they are leaving the building. It is essential to consult with the local authority having jurisdiction to ensure compliance with all applicable codes. Furthermore, it is important to ensure that the pull stations are properly maintained, tested, and that occupants are trained on how to use them. By following these guidelines, building owners and managers can help to ensure the safety of their occupants in the event of a fire or other emergency. The specific codes and standards that govern the installation and placement of fire alarm systems, including pull stations, can vary depending on the jurisdiction and the type of building. However, some common codes and standards include firstly the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA 72, National Fire Alarm and Signaling Code. This code provides comprehensive requirements for the installation, inspection, testing, and maintenance of fire alarm systems. Secondly, the NFPA 101 Life Safety Code. This code provides requirements for fire protection and life safety in buildings and structures. It addresses the placement of fire alarm systems, including manual pull stations. Thirdly, the International Building Code, or IBC. This code is a model building code that is widely adopted in the United States. It includes requirements for fire protection systems, including fire alarm systems. Fourthly, the International Fire Code, or IFC. This code is a model fire code that is widely adopted in the United States. It includes requirements for fire safety and prevention, including fire alarm systems. Fifthly, state and local building codes. Many states and local jurisdictions have their own building codes and fire safety regulations that may supplement or modify the national codes and standards. It is essential to consult with the local authority having jurisdiction, ORG, to determine the specific codes and standards that apply to a particular building or project. In addition to these codes and standards, there are also some general principles that should be followed when installing and placing pull stations. 1. Pull stations should be readily accessible and visible. They should not be obstructed by furniture, equipment, or other objects. 2. Pull stations should be mounted at a height that is easily reachable by most individuals, typically between 42 inches and 48 inches above the finished floor. 3. Pull stations should be located in close proximity to exits. This ensures that occupants can activate the alarm as they are leaving the building. 4. Pull stations should be clearly identified with signage. The sign should indicate that the device is a manual fire alarm box and provide instructions on how to activate it. 5. Pull stations should be properly maintained and tested. They should be inspected regularly to verify that they are in good working order and tested periodically to ensure that they are functioning correctly. 6. Occupants should be trained on how to use pull stations. They should be informed about the location of pull stations and how to activate them. They should also be educated about the importance of using pull stations to report fires and other emergencies. By following these codes, standards, and principles, building owners and managers can help to ensure the safety of their occupants in the event of a fire or other emergency.